There's never been a time where people weren't suffering. And so in terms of averages, we live longer, we're more literate, we're healthier, we kill each other less than ever before. So as bad as it is, this is the best it's ever been.
Welcome back. It's kind of our anniversary. So
Is it?
So 2 years ago, you and I were seated here on April 28th.
Oh, yeah.
So to talk about this show.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
And now you're back.
Yeah.
So congratulations,
Thank you.
first of all.
Thank you.
The show won CSA. You're getting a second season. What did you learn the first time around that informed how you want to do it this time?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that we found that the show was at its best when we didn't kind of, how do I say this? Be prescriptive with our form. That's getting super hokey, how the sausage is made shit, but what I mean is, on season 1, we built concepts, and whether or not they worked, we fought to try to get them in the show.
Yeah.
And I think on season 2, we built concepts, but we also left a blind spot to know that no matter what, I'm only going to figure out X amount before we get there. No matter what, they're going to give me something I couldn't plan for, et cetera, et cetera. But also to learn that, we learned that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. That if you can kind of make something kind of fun and accessible, you can sneak your carrots into your kids' mouths,
Okay, so the spoonful of sugar sometimes is the pop culture references that you use, right? There was Terminator.
Yep.
I think you use a little bit of Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, Hornet. I always mix those. So so is that strategically use those pop culture references, everybody knows those, to help amplify the message or to speak to people at that level?
I think because it's any show that's specific runs the risk of potentially being niche, is a word that people throw around. And so if you can have some sort of big universal thing that can kind of pull people in, then you can kind of hook and you can sneak this kind of show into people's lives, But it also just gives a kind of, when you use cultural kind of reference points that everybody understands, it just it does the heavy lifting for you. There's that much less you have to explain.
Well, I feel too that the first episode, which is about AI, we were all talking about this it became one of the big conversations, still now, but in 2023. And you're coming off of that, the anxiety, the fears, and you're opening the show with a conversation about AI. And yet, throughout the series, there is a sense of optimism and hope, similar to season 1. Do you still feel hopeful?
I feel more hopeful this time than I did the first time.
Even though the show's called We're All Gonna Die.
Because it's because no matter what, we are doing better as a species now than we've ever done, as crazy as that is. Because it's it's a mess out there, and it's really hard. And the stats don't necessarily dovetail with everybody's anecdotal experience, But there's never been a time where people weren't suffering. And so in terms of averages, we live longer, we're more literate, we're healthier, we kill each other less than ever before. So as bad as it is, this is the best it's ever been.
Right.
That makes me hopeful.
In order to be hopeful, you have to have a fundamental faith in humanity.
Or people.
That looking across from you, I'm going to have faith that when it comes down to it, Jay, you will do right by me, and that you would look at me and say, Lainey, I don't feel that way about most people.
See, I feel that way about people, not humanity. Right. I think en masse we are loathsome. Yeah. But on the street, person to person, I don't know. I still find people saying, excuse me, or you dropped this, or after you. I still find that even if people have sharper elbows and shoulders than we used to because of the pandemic and everything else, I still have faith in people. I never have faith in humanity, but I have faith in people on the individual level.
Got it.
And what is humanity if not a bunch of individuals together?
Okay. Let's talk about the faith that you might or may not have in your AI. I thought it was...
I have faith in you that you would do the right thing, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. And I would have faith in you. I just don't know about every person in this building.
No, there's a lot of arseholes out there. Yeah. Real jerks.
Okay, let's talk about the faith. I thought it was really interesting. What I was saying is that you were interacting with an AI, your AI, in that episode.
Yeah.
And it made me think about if I had an AI.
Yeah.
I know that, yes, parts of that, like, that's scary.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, I thought to myself, wait a minute, what if my AI could be not as lazy as me?
Yes.
Right?
No, like, that's the thing. That's the thing.
And then could write the book that I've been sitting on,
Yes.
and then the book goes out, but I get the credit.
Or you write the book you've been sitting on, and it goes to Loblaws or whatever, and does all the other stuff, right?
Way to have high hopes for me.
Yeah.
Loblaws.
Food basics, whatever. But no, I think that like any there have been sort of technological advancements in our history that are utterly irrevocable and change everything, and we're different going forward. Printing press, electricity, automation, nuclear fission, right? And so it absolutely will and can do us in, but it absolutely can also, there are sort of positive things, but here's the, to make a cake you have to break some eggs, right? Like when there were people that would have been bloody convinced that asbestos was a good job because that was a solid job, mining asbestos, that gave them benefits and sent their kids to school, right? But we've kind of accepted as a world that maybe it's not the best thing to have. Easy for me to say as someone that didn't lose my job, I was never mining asbestos, but my point is that like every time there's like a kind of a paradigm shift, inevitably there's going to be hardship that comes from it.
Yeah.
But we will ultimately, en masse, I think, probably get more good out of it. It'll probably be a net positive. But I say that, and of course, like
even as a creative, like you are a creative person.
Yeah,
you're an actor. You're a performer. You're a writer. You're a producer. Those things are so unique to you.
Yeah.
Nothing manufactured could manufacture your thoughts.
No.
So, given that this is a
Exactly.
conversation in your industry about AI, about whatever, cloning and doubles and whatnot, how are you feeling about this as a person in Hollywood, but also as a person who's studying this?
Yeah, so I think it's a very good question. I think it's like, I think it's a question that ultimately is an older question than AI, which is, it's a question about agency and control over one's sort of life and image, right? And that is a conversation that I've had and been trying to fight for my entire career. Like AI doesn't change that, trying to get the best out of a studio, trying to mitigate how omnipresent they are, trying to mitigate how much of my face they own, and what they can do with it later. This is old, right? AI just kind of spurs it on a bit. On the writing side, I definitely foresee a future where studios, as a normal course of business, get the AI to write the script or break a season, and then they get a meatbag human to come in and spend a week making it sound like a person wrote it, not a computer. Yeah. I think ultimately that's going to be a thing, but at the same time, none of that prevents a kid from picking up a camera in his backyard and making a movie. Yeah. Right? So punk rock will never die. As soon as a kid picks up a guitar in his garage, punk rock keeps on going. So cinema is people. Yeah. And AI will have some profound negative effects on the industry, but ultimately there's still going to be kids who want to make movies. And no matter what, there's going to be that. And no matter what, I think people are going to want to hear songs written by people and see movies written by people. Now, it might be a bit more doom and gloom than that, but ultimately, no matter what, nothing has ever stopped people from painting. No, movies didn't make people stop painting or stop going to, stop doing plays or theater or anything like that.
I appreciate the optimism.
Yeah.
I feel not reassured, I'm not going to say, but I love that perspective.
All right, good.
You talked about kids and a kid picking up a camera. There's an Easter egg in the episode, one of the episodes, where we see a shot of you and Alicia Cuthbert from Popular Mechanics,
for
right?
Kids, yeah.
Does she know that? Is that going to be an Easter egg for her? Is she going to go to Crave and watch? I know. I tried to make that work.
Listen,
and watch We're All Gonna Die, and then see a little shot of her from when she was a kid.
Listen, what she does with her own time and what streaming service she decides to subscribe to is entirely up to her. I mean, I think she knows. I think I told her, or my wife told her. We talk a bunch, so like, yeah, at a certain point, I think she'll be like, I think she'll get a kick out of it. I don't know why, though. Maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she'd be like, yeah, all right, that's just a thing we did. But yeah, I think her now does not make any appearance. I want to temper expectations. There's no Easter egg with like 2024 Alicia.
Yeah.
But I think she definitely makes her way into some old archival footage.
My last thought for you is, you mentioned humane. We're all gonna die. You're shooting Fubar here, Blackberry. All of this was made here, close.
Yep.
It's amazing to me, and I'm so happy for you and us that you get to work at home.
Thank you.
All the time,
Thank
almost
you.
all the time.
Yeah, I try
that you
to.
don't have to leave.
No, I tried to. I make it a deal breaker.
I think it's so important.
Thank you.
I think for our community and this industry. So thanks for that, and congratulations.
That's
on
nice of you to say, Lainey.
all
Thank
of
you.
it.
I appreciate you noticing. Thank you.
I appreciate me noticing too. Yeah. No, I'm super happy. I think that means something.
I try. I think
like
so
when
too.
home is here and you get to work here and you're not like out there.
Well, that was Man Seeking Woman. They were like, would you do it down in the States? And it's like, no, but if it's Toronto or Montreal, I think I'll do it. And so we got to employ a bunch of people here for 3 years.
You know what?
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.